course director here. Just wanted to give you a little bit of positive, productive feedback on your recent portfolio enhancement assignment. So just like I did in editing for the web, I've gone ahead and queued up each of your sites inside a browser window, and I'm going to go through each one and kind of point out some of the areas that could still use a little bit of attention as you move forward into your other portfolio courses. All right, so first up, we've got Khanakh's site. It is looking fantastic. You did the jump from Wix over to Squarespace, and there is a certain elegance that comes with their templates. I noticed that you're still on a trial account because I had to do a special visitor access login to get here, which is fine. But just know that you've got 2 weeks on this free account, and when you're done with that, you're going to have to pay because Squarespace is a paid subscription service. Now, Full Sail students do get 50% off, so make sure that you look for that when it's time to upgrade. So first things first, we've got a really kind of interesting looking picture of you here sipping coffee. We've got your name, that you're a public relations specialist, and a fine quote here. Navigation options, home, about, portfolio, blog, and contact. One of the things is I'd like to see your brand popping out a little bit more, just because, you know, this page is so minimalist in its appearance, you know, just to have that pop, because the image itself is great, and it's you, but if I was a stranger, I wouldn't know that was you. So I want your name to kind of pop out just a little bit more. I'm gonna go and poke around these little links and see where they take me. So there's the home page, going next to the about. All right, I'm wondering, okay, it looks like it is a separate page because it wasn't on the scroll. So this is an about page. There's you, swimming with dolphins. And just a short little bit of information. So as I was saying, you tell me that you grew up in India, and you know some of your experiences. I like that it takes kind of a story format. There's a weird sort of line break here. Don't know why this sentence kind of jumps down from this area, so that might be something that you want to check out. Looks like you have social media icons linked here, but they're going to the, according to the preview in the bottom left-hand corner of my screen, just going to Squarespace, their Facebook account and their Instagram. So you'll definitely want to update that with your own social media accounts as that's relevant, right? So just make sure that you are, you know, connecting accounts that show the persona or professional that you want to put out there. Jumping next to portfolio. So interestingly, I mean, just kind of a little different treatment here. Like this says 4. And portfolio, and then this just says about, and it's kind of higher up, so just it looks a little different. Try to go for a little more consistency. So how to make a masala tea. It looks like an infographic here, which is cool. All right, and so you've shared the image and you've titled it infographic. This is your logo for Dollar Shave, the video that you created. All of these look fantastic. I like that you've taken a very curated approach here, but what I need to see, Khanakh, is a little more explanation as to what you're sharing and why. Okay, I know what these assignments are because I'm a teacher in MCVS, but the layperson won't actually know. So you need to give it a title and then a description of the project. What skills are you looking to show? You know, it looks like graphic design, but it could also be, you know, any type of media research or media strategy. You know, this could be graphic design. It could be something, could be branding. Here we've got your story, but you know, can you give us a little bit of background on this? What did you know, like what part did you take in this? Were you the videographer? Were you the editor? Were you both? What software did you use to create these projects? All of that content becomes keyword rich, which will help people find you. Jumping next over to blog. So here we have a space for some blog posts. Life is a bowl of cherries with influencer marketing trend. So it looks like a fun little article that you have put together, which is great. You know, this is something that we talked about. If you want to be a contributor in this industry and establish yourself as a credible voice in public relations, you're going to need to have content out there. So this is a great place to start. You have a lot of insight and some, you know, cool perspective. I definitely encourage you to be posting on the regular here. And it doesn't have to be, you know, hundreds and hundreds of words. It can be an interesting thing that you found or saw, or comment on something in the news. But just the important thing here is consistency and updating your content. Last but not least, we got a simple contact us page. Contact us or contact me, right? Are you just Khanakh, or are you Khanakh plus other people? So, little details like that become important, just to, kind of keep things consistent and making sense across your site. I'm going to jump back to the home page because I think there's more content here. So a little bit more about who you are. It looks as if this could be the same story. And if that's the case, I'm not understanding why it's here. And then also on the About page, we might need to take a look at reorganizing that information. I don't know how familiar you are with Squarespace, but if you want to come into class sometime, I'd be happy to take a look at the template you've chosen and making some updates. I really love your brand with like the glitter, but I think that some work needs to be done on the logo to really sort of fuse the K and the S, so that it doesn't have these little areas where it's kind of open here and this little hanger on right down there. We can tweak it just so to make it a little bit cleaner. So it looks like what you've done is you try to create a one-page site, but then actually have these other pages up here. I can definitely help you reorg that to make sure that you're getting the product that you want. But overall, this is a nice shift from your first attempt at the portfolio to what we have now. Keep pushing. Happy to help. Let me know. Here we go over to Minha's site. So you had a really strong portfolio to begin with, but the first thing that I notice is that I'm not seeing the personal branding elements that you've created, right? Like, so this is a cool logo, the color scheme, the curvature of the lines. It's playful but elegant, which is kind of characteristic of all your work. So I'd like to see you infuse your site with that, right? It's part of your brand, so your brand needs to be represented here on this particular page. We talked about just simply saying I'm a media person. So this just says I'm media person. You want to go ahead and make sure that you put that A in here. So it says I'm a media person, and it lets people know that you are into video, graphic, and web, which is cool. We've got your different projects up here. As I hover over them, I can see that you've given it the title and the information about what you created and why, which is great. And you've done that for each of these, which gives a nice preview to your audience about your work and the skills that you're looking to showcase. Jumping here down to the About Me, so just a little bit about the work that you're doing, a nice picture that's showing you at work. Now this is something that I like to see, so it's not just, I hope that this translates well, but this is not narcissistic, right? So narcissistic is just, photos of yourself just to have photos of yourself, but this is showing you doing what you do, right? So it's nice to see Minha in action here. Kind of scrolling down, taking a look at these areas. Not sure exactly what this is. I can't click on it, but maybe it's just kind of more information about what you do, because you've kind of set it up that it's like, up here you say video editor, graphic design, web designer. I might expect to see that same thing here. Video editor, graphic designer, web designer, and then have pictures of each of those things. So just, you're teaching your audience about how to consume your information, and with this you've kind of set up a little bit of a pattern. So I expect to see the pattern carried out here, and I don't, so that's a bit of a disconnect. Just let's see here. So this I think is your maybe your mission statement: expending creative thought and sight by bringing value to media. I'm wondering if maybe you mean expanding creative thought and sight. Let's talk about that, because it might just be a language issue there. So it might be expanding that you're looking to put. Under contact, just a simple form, which is great. You've got your contact information, and as I hover over your social media icons, I can see that they are in fact linking to other places on the web. This is a great site, Minha. Again, just look for ways that you can infuse it with your brand, one of the things for you moving forward, because you're going to get a lot more work, you're only halfway through the program, I want you to be thinking about curating the content that's here. And curate means pick the best ones, not everything that you've done. and make sure that you are kind of creating a picture of the work that you want to do when you graduate. But overall, it's a strong iteration. Next up, we've got Stephany's site. So very beautiful right from the start. It's a switch from Wix to Weebly. Wix has a lot more in terms of design options, but many times that leads to inconsistency in the look and feel. Weebly has cleaner templates, and therefore the design comes out a bit cleaner, and I can tell that just by looking at what you've submitted here. I love that you've taken like the one page approach. It's kind of weird to me that you just have home up here. It almost, if there's no options, then I know I need to start scrolling. But if there's one option, it almost makes me feel like, well, where are the other options? So wondering if you can hide this link. The other thing is your logo looks great up here, but at such a small display size, it's hard to see your last name on there or read it. What I'm wondering is, should this logo perhaps not include your last name, right? Because the scalability of it, there are some concerns there. Just something to think about moving forward, and as you try it in different locations. Here, it's not large enough for me to actually read your last name. I know it says that because I know what your last name is, but as far as me actually being able to read it, I can't do it. So then it's not functional in that aspect. You've got a beautiful picture here of you. It's gorgeous, in fact. It looks like that's Craft Azalea Park locally. And it's just an awesome picture, and it goes very well and cleanly with the site. You got a short intro which says that you're a media comm student and that you are passionate about these different things. And then here comes your projects. You do an amazing job of introducing your work. You give me a title and then the description, which is great. And then if I go ahead and take a look at this, I can see kind of the full aspects of your production portfolio, which is great. And then I suppose if I hit your logo, I can go home, and let's take a look at your web design portfolio. Okay, so you've done a couple of different cool things here, and then if I hit home, I'm guessing it goes back. So the functionality here is right on, and it's super clean and nice. One thing I might recommend is to potentially make these graphics consistently sized, right? So here we have one that's kind of shaped like a video. This one's kind of like a screenshot, but it's a little bit shorter, not as high. This one smaller, this one a little wider. And because of that, it doesn't give terrific uniformity in the design. Wondering if there's a way that you could crop them or resize them or recreate them in a way that would give you more of straighter lines on the page. You've interned with several very impressive organizations, so World Upside Down, Adrenaline Film. So it looks like these are linking to those organizations, which are great, but something else you might want to consider is potentially saying what you did for them, right? And because you're putting in things like video production or branding or project management, those become keywords which will help your site eventually get found. So I'd love to hear from you. Let's see what we can create, a simple form. All of this is wonderful, Stephany. This is a really, really strong evolution from what you submitted in editing for the web, and I can only surmise that as you continue to get more clear on what it is that you want to do in the industry and where you want to make an incredible contribution, that you'll be able to really hone this site and distill it down to the essence of those things. But overall, super pleased with the work that you were able to put forth here, and of course always happy to help with anything that you need in the future.